Hi guys, what's going on, and welcome to another episode of Total War Arena. So we are taking a look at the Tier 7 Barbarian Falxmen, the Dacian Warriors. So they are pretty much, so far as I can see, a pretty static continuation of the existing Falxmen line. Thankfully I had a bit of equipment that carried over with them, so I already have the trousers, which give quite a nice boost in movement speed, and the body armour as well, which gives a little bit of movement speed, a good chunk of melee defence and body armour. So it gives them a little bit of strength. I haven't got the upgraded Falx yet, unfortunately, but hopefully we'll be getting that. It's not only 14,000 to unlock it, so it's not too bad. We're going to have plus 17 penetration damage, which is pretty good. It's going to put, so we're currently, 80? It's going to put them at 97. It's going to be a pretty solid amount of penetration damage, and their weapon damage is actually pretty high, to be honest. Considering they're supposed to be mostly revolving around this penetration damage, it's going to be pretty good. The actual unit ability-wise, of course, they still get things like, they ignore shields and stuff like that. They still get a dash, which is nice for that 20% movement speed. They still get their hamstring, but I think that's true of all the Falxmen units, and they still get a bit of a charge as well. So that's kind of pretty useful for them. Makes them a pretty decent unit. Consumable-wise, what am I running with? Well, there's really only two options to go with here. Feast is obviously the natural one to go for because you get that plus 9 melee weapon penetration damage. So that is a significant increase to your damage output, plus you get a bit of weapon damage and melee defense as well. I mean, it's just the perfect consumable. You should always be taking Feast. And then the other options are between Spar and Sweros. Well, the impact damage and melee attack is the same on both, so you've got to decide if you want to have charge, deflect, or movement speed. And well, the amount of times you get charged are very minimal, so charge deflect is pretty useless. But a 7% movement speed is certainly a nice little boost, because particularly as I'm not running them with Arminius and I'm with Vercingetorix, so I need all the movement speed I can get, and that's putting the base movement speed of these guys around about 5, which is pretty good going. Combined with the fact we get a dash as well, so we should be able to get a decent amount of speed out of these guys. So I think that's pretty much all there is to say about them, so let's hop into a game and see if we can cause a bit of trouble. So we are loading into the Battle of Salernum. Looks like we're top tier, which is a good thing. It's not exactly the map I would have picked. Obviously with it being largely city and a pretty minimal amount of forest for me to take advantage of, but well, I say I was probably going to go for the forest. No, big Naughty, welcome to the video. Yes, I'm probably going to push the forest over here, as long as there's going to be something else coming with me, but it doesn't look like we've got a lot of infantry coming with me, mostly support units. Which makes me a bit nervous about pushing down to the centre. We've got some cavalry coming with us by the looks of it. Hopefully they might go for the flag in the middle, maybe? Well, it looks like they're probably going to go for the outer road. Okay. Let's see how we get on. What we like for movement speed over this sort of ground, 4.92 through this long grass. And then when we get a dash, that takes us up to 5.76. Yeah, pretty respectable. We should be able to stand a chance of being reasonably able to capture quite a few things at that. So the biggest problem I have is obviously under the observation, that means we've now been spotted, and we've really got nothing else coming with us. We have got the light artillery behind us, which has got some range. Let's certainly keep spots on this flag point. That light artillery hasn't actually set up yet, but if he does, we should give us some interesting spots. So there goes the Blood Riders going for the spot, so they now know I'm here. That means I'm probably going to be imminently artilleried. They're going to pull back off the point. So let's keep moving, pull back a little bit, try and avoid the probably impending... Oh no, the artillery is not going for me. Surprising. So we've got the slingers with us in support. Let's get a man over to the flag point. Probably be the right thing to do, give us a good amount of observation. There's quite a bit of enemy cavalry kicking around. That's probably the biggest problem we've got. Can try and charge them. No, it's not going to quite happen, is it? We're being caught by enemy light artillery, I think. It's a really tough one because there's no infantry. It's just a game of support units. Oh dear, the amount of artillery fire is brutal. They're just going to go for it. Kind of surprised. Let's go for a hamstring to try and stop them from getting out if we can. Let's get a good amount of damage on them if we can as they try and retreat. The hamstring's going to end. We probably lost that really, but they took a bit of damage as well. Let me pull back into the forest. Well, into certainly this bit of forest, at least to defend this flag point. I just don't want them to capture it because obviously it gives them just such ultimate observation on us. It's a really tough game, this is. A bit of a fight going on down there. Maybe I should be looking to pull back down this way. It's like our crews, our cavalry got in on their artillery, which is nice. There's just a lot of cavalry kicking around. There's a pretty big fight breaking out down here, so let's look at to be pulling back down this way. And giving up the central position. Nothing really that's easily a threat to us down here. Looks like we're taking out their enemy artillery, which is nice. There's still some spears in the middle of that fight, and some enemy spearmen. Yes, this is at least a fight to get stuck into, which is obviously what we want. Carthaginian cavalry, go for a bit of an early charge. We haven't got a hamstring back. Try and get a charge into them. Okay, that didn't go so badly. Hamstring where we can. Do what damage I can on them as they try and run. Yeah, we got a reasonable amount of damage on them there. They're going for our bloody slingers, so I better pull back to try and get some defense points on. This is just a cavalry fighting game, isn't it? We do decimate cavalry really well, so should just be able to finish these guys off without too much problem. Hopefully the slingers haven't actually taken that many casualties in the process. Just kill this last one. We should get enough flanking modifiers on him to then be dead. Cool. So what else have we got in front of us? Some remnants of some Agamemnon spear infantry. Be sure to try and get flanks on them. No, it should do it. Where are you going, people? We took a lot more casualties than we wanted to there. It should be enough to get them to rout. I'd rather you didn't just shoot into the back of my own units, please. That was not particularly well played because the amount of casualties we took in doing that was kind of high. So, and the enemy is back owning the central capture point. Now, they've still got one unit of light artillery we can see. A lot of cavalry, some javelins, that sort of thing. So we have to play this carefully. Oh dear. Because the light artillery is now opening fire on me again, which is exactly what we were trying to avoid. Let's get back to try and support our slingers as we get all the enemy. Probably going to lose that fight. Let's try and get stuck in here. Go for a hamstring, nothing else for the damage. Should be able to get a good amount of damage on them here, which we are doing. You know, this is obviously Falxmen are really good against enemy cavalry. They do excel at this sort of thing. Go for our defiance on one of them, or wherever it is. Obviously, I'm doing a little bit against mount kick. This is when I wish I'd still got a hamstring left alive. So, do you think we can catch up with their skirmishes? Are they Sulla? Yes, they are. We really don't have a lot of choice here in this situation. If the light artillery can get shots on them, that will make a real big difference. I'm going to catch a good few of them there, even though we're going to end up caught up on in this sort of situation, which is obviously not quite what I had in mind. Let's just finish off these guys, which they should be routing. They are. And that's the end of their prescription as well, you see, which is kind of important. So we've got some veteran legionaries coming forwards. Having kill off those, at least one unit of javelins is dead. We have been rear-flanked. Oh wow, by those cavalry. That was a big old hit there. I'm completely on my own. You see, this is the problem I'm having with these guys so far. Is that just the game is just I'm the only infantryman really on our team. Everyone else is just support units, of course, which aren't providing a great deal of support at the moment. Which is making things rather difficult for us to do any serious damage to these guys. Hopefully we should be able to try. Let's try and get some damage on these enemy guys here. We've got all these javelins surrounding us, and we're getting some veteran legionaries turning up as well, which is not going to be very good for us. You can see the amount of casualties we are sustaining. Sulla, Vercingetorix is obviously dead. try and get onto this unit slightly if we can. Ah, damn, there we go, and we have routed. Well, we got in a good amount of damage there. You know, we're trying to sort of trying to avoid the ranged units, the artillery and stuff. Hopefully our team is going to be able to do enough to escape from this. We don't really have any sword units left apart from a couple of guys here. Remnants of some foot companions. What are these guys doing? One of them is coming back and one of them is pushing onto base along with some skirmishes. We are provisionally in the lead on points, but you know, it's still quite a lot to do, and we've still got to fight off against all these guys here by the looks of things. In this sort of situation, this guy would have been better off coming out of formed combat. He's doing himself a massive disservice by being in that block. When you were wanting to sort of envelop an enemy when they're in a blob, you know, if they're coming out of formed combat, your units will go around them, you'll get a lot more hits on them, rather than staying in formed combat in this sort of situation, which is kind of a negative. But it does look like we're in a serious risk of getting capped out, to be honest, if we're not careful with the rest of the team. How are these guys getting on against these guys? Yeah, they really need to think about getting rid of formed combat. It's really not helping yourself there, mate. So we've got more veteran legionaries coming up, and the enemy has still got some light artillery in play, you see, which is proving to be difficult. We've got our guys moving up to get in and cap, and we've got some guys in their base, and we probably are capping quicker than them. But we don't know if they have got any units near back to help them try and decap or not. Looks like we've got a unit of slingers coming back down who's just about to die. I think they actually missed him on the charge. So far we are going to cap out quicker than them. It's going to be a bit close though because it's battling now really close for one. What's going to happen? Oh, we've got a little bit of a decapping actually. It might be enough time for these Romans to turn up, which is obviously what we need to happen. Or these guys just stay hidden. It looks like we're actually going to win on the cap out. Okay, nice. Well, that turned into actually a pretty reasonable game in the end. So it's kind of a bit of a non-conventional game for Falxmen, really. Obviously, they serve a lot better when you're fighting, I guess, when there's actually a game with some reasonable amount of enemy units in them. But hopefully it kind of demonstrates how they have that reasonable degree of flexibility. How great Hamstring is as a strike, because obviously that slowdown ability is just hugely useful in terms of being able to catch and apply damage consistently to cavalry. You know, most of our damage in that game was probably to enemy cavalry. And then obviously it's nice that they still have a charge, which you can catch up with enemy archer units, javelins, slingers, that sort of thing. Like we caught up with those javelins. I didn't really get much use, I didn't get any use of my Scorched Earth in that game. But still, yeah, not too bad a game. So I'm going to continue grinding through these guys, get the upgraded Falx as well, which should hopefully make things a little bit better. And hopefully continue to carve down my enemies. So, hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you have, let me know what you think in the comments down below. Subscribe to the channel for lots more Total War Arena content. And thanks guys, I shall see you all on the next video.